Okay, for this question, this is question 4 of the review. For this one, there's some people, some students who showed inconsistent work, and I would say one of the biggest obstacles is that students were showing just poor handwriting, and that tripped up themselves. Okay, so if I would give you a sincere advice, please, it doesn't take you more than 3 seconds to write better handwriting. So why would you harm yourself because of your poor handwriting? Okay, that's number one. Number two is that some students are not understanding what this means. Okay, and also the question indicates that you must use synthetic division to perform this this investigation to find out what K is. So first, let's look at the highlighted part. F of 2, it's equal to negative 12, sorry. F of 2, it's equal to negative 12. What that means is that when you do your synthetic division by 2, okay, you anticipate that you get a remainder of negative 12. And that's what it means. Okay, we talk about that since day one. And just a reminder, that's what we mean. Okay, when you have a function value, that function value coincidentally, it's also our remainder. Okay, and of course, with a K right here, that adds a little bit of a complication into this complexity into this problem. Okay, so we need to find K. Now, before we start, let me tell you what mistakes or one mistake that students made. Some students made at the beginning of the problem. Because they didn't understand the notation, they didn't understand the meaning of the notation. So they actually did not put 2 over here for the synthetic division. They put down negative 2 instead, which is not correct. Okay, if you say f of 2, it's equal to negative 12, that means you are dividing the polynomial by 2, or I mean, by the factor of x minus 2, but the root, it's going to be 2. Okay, well, actually, it's not a root because there's no remainder. That there is a remainder here. So you're dividing by 2. Sorry, you're dividing the polynomial by 2. So now it's a time to show off our good handwriting. And so you have 2, and then negative 1, you have K, and minus 3. Now, it's also very important that when you are doing your synthetic division, you are also checking the power. Is there any missing term? Well, in this case, there's nothing missing, which is great, but there was one question on the test that there was one missing x squared term, and I would say about half of the class did not recognize it, and they just, not being very careful in terms of reading the notation, and that's a major drawback. So we just go ahead and do the synthetic division as usual. We say, well, we bring the 2 down, and then 2 times 2, it's equal to 4. And then 4 minus 1, it's equal to, or negative 1 plus 4, it's 3. So I have seen, I saw students making mistakes here as well. When they are adding negative numbers, somehow they made some mental mistakes. So it's supposed to be very straightforward. So please be careful when you add negative numbers. Okay, and then we keep going. We say 3 times 2 gives you 6. And this is where the next problem comes in. Some students, they somehow thought that it is K, 6 times K, 6 times K. So they just put down 6K. But they were adding numbers before, so it's just some kind of inconsistency when they were showing the work. So it will be K plus 6 because you were adding, right? You have been adding, so you just add these 2 things together, and yeah, you cannot combine them, so you just go ahead and write down K plus 6. K plus 6 times 2, you will get 2K plus 12. Okay, 2K plus 12, 2K plus 12, and then you're going to add the minus 3, so you have 2K, you have 2K plus 9. Okay, 2K plus 9. Okay, and if you have 2K plus 9, well, that's the remainder. That remainder tells us that, well, that's equal to negative 12. Okay, negative 12. So, so you just go ahead. 2K plus 9 equals to negative 12. You subtract 9 on both sides. You have negative 21 on the right, 2K on the left, and then you have negative 21 over 2. A good amount of students, they somehow drop the minus sign somehow, which I have no idea why. I would say that those students, they tend to show somewhat messy work. And that's, again, you are tripping yourself. You are laying a trap for yourself if you have poor penmanship. That's not really recommended in mathematics or in any circumstances. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's how you get the K value. That's nothing really challenging as long as you follow through the typical procedure of doing synthetic division. So again, let me point out again some of the common mistakes that I've seen. The first mistake is that students do not know how to interpret this. They did not realize that this is the remainder. Okay, so that's number one. The second mistake that I've seen is that people put the wrong number here. They did not realize that they should put a 2, but instead they put down a negative 2. So that messed up the whole problem as well. The third problem is this one, this part right here. Or yeah, I would just say this part, they somehow put down 6K rather than 6 plus K or K plus 6. It's an addition, so you should really put down K plus 6 or 6 plus K. Here's another problem that, that I've seen too, and that is when they were multiplying K plus 6 with the 2, they wrote down 2K, and then they forgot to multiply the 6 with the 2. They would just write down 2K plus 6 instead of 2K plus 12. So that's another mistake that I've seen when I was grading the test. So just being consistent. Being consistent alone, it's going to be very, very influential and very beneficial. Okay. So if you know that the remainder would have a value of negative 12, then you know that whatever you get at the very end would set it equal to negative 12, and then you just solve for K. Now, how do you know that you are ready? How do you know that you are ready for this kind of question? So mentally, what you should do is that you realize what you are dividing with, okay? When you do the synthetic division, you understand that you will get a remainder, and you will get a remainder with a K in it. You need to look out for that. You need to anticipate for that. And you also understand that whatever the expression that you have in the remainder position, that has a value of negative 12. And that's how you set up the equation. Okay. If you don't understand why, if you don't understand the remainder is negative 12, then I don't think you have a good time following through the calculation, because you don't even know what to do next. So please be aware of all these common mistakes so that you don't fall to these errors. Hope that when you see this again on the next test, on the midterm exam, or even next year when you go to calculus, you would not miss these kind of easy stuff again. Okay.